Hello, welcome to Knitwhim Diaries. My name is Knitwhim and this is the show. Today is Monday the 23rd of February. Hello, how are you? I'm feeling very weird. Today I'm working a night shift, but of course, I still have stuff I have to do during the day. For instance, I have doctor's appointments all day tomorrow, one at 9:15 in the morning and one at 1 p.m. And so I'm randomly awake right now, even though it's noon. And I have a date to hang out with one of my friends who is also working a night shift tonight. We're gonna go watch a movie at 8 p.m. I'm not sure when the sleeping part is gonna happen, but I figure since I'm awake and there's sun, might as well do a recording. Woohoo! So here's what I've been up to. Finished objects. My first finished object is a spinning finished object. I finished the Maleficent Punies that I was spinning on my Tibetan spindle. It's really black and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there you go. It's mostly black with some purple and yellow pops, and there's even some red Angelina sparkle in there somewhere hidden. This is about 240 yards of lace weight-ish. It's a 2-ply, and what I did was I wound it off of the spindle into a 2-ply ball. And I know a lot of hardcore supported spindlers use something called a knot spin or a knot spine or something. It's basically just a stick that they wind it onto to make their own 2-ply ball. I didn't do that. I used the ball winder that I got from Knitpicks to make my 2-ply ball, and I spun it on my wheel. And when I first started spinning it, I had so much problems with tension that the yarn was just like clumping up on itself and just being icky. And so I gave up, I started chain plying it, but then it was way thicker than I had intended it to be, like I wanted it to be, like cobweight lace. And so I did maybe a yard of chain ply, and then I went screw this and I went back to 2-plying it, and I just experimented with moving the bowl with my plying bowl in it farther and closer away until I got it to a place where it didn't do that weird tensiony thing so much. So that was fun. The only other finished thing that I have is 3 granny square type things. I'll show these to you. This is the, I don't remember what it's called, the 6-corner cluster square or something. It is the 6-inch filler for February in the 2015 Block of the Month cow. Now it's supposed to be a 6-inch square if you're using worsted weight. These are knit with Knitpicks palette, and so they're more like 3 inches. Eye bleeding colors, I know. I can't help it. It's just who I am. So I had a lot of fun doing these. I think I ended up doing these on a C hook, although you did this one on D. It's a little bit bigger. I still decided crochet is a lot more permissive with the gauge. It's more like do what you want or do what makes the size you want. So I really don't know what my baseline is for if I like it. This is thicker and more pudgy. This is a little bit more squishy. The drape is a little bit better. I mean it's still crochet, but there's more of it. There's more drape. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'm going with the C hook for this set because I'm thinking I'm not gonna make an afghan with this, but I'm thinking I'll probably maybe make a purse and then line it like a project bag and then line it with a zipper. By the way, I did buy 8 different colors of Knitpicks palette specifically to do this knit along, and it's I don't have them with me. I locked myself in a room away from the cats. So, but it's 3 colors of purple, 3 colors of orange, 2 colors of blue, and then I also have some. Black and white, but I'm not sure if I'll use the black and the white. So that's that finished object. Now I almost had a third finished object. I was so close to finishing the little dragon crochet toy that I've been working on that I almost cried. So Saturday night, I'm gonna pull it out. I was working on this little dragon. Literally all I had left to do was to sew on all of the pieces to the dragon and then stuff it and then seam up the bottom. That's like literally all I had left to do. And I like sewed on these eyes because I was afraid that the plastic eyes would be a choking hazard. And they're not exactly the same size, but close enough. But I was so close, like literally all I had left to do was sew everything on. Now, as you might notice, the head is not centered on the body, like the head is looking a little in that direction. So when I started to sew on the scales and the tails on the back, I aligned it with the scale on the head. And so, can you see this? This is flat. So the scales are decidedly not in the center of the back, and the tail is not centered on the back. So it's very, see that? It's so skewed, it's so skewed. It is not, it's terrible. I thought I was gonna cry. I was just like, that was a couple of hours sewing all those pieces on, and now it's just, oh, it's so wonky. It's so wonky. This is supposed to be a gift for Emily, which is the little girl that Amanda from the Mando Bugs Crafts podcast just had recently. And like, it's gonna be a while before I get over this. I mean, like, I'm really gonna have to unsew all that shit off of the dragon because, I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks okay from the front, but I try to tell myself that maybe it's artsy and it looks like the tail is just laying in a weird way, and you know, maybe it's cool. I don't have to undo it. I don't know. I'm sitting on it. It is officially hibernating. It's hibernating. The other work in progress, I still have this spindle spin I'm doing. I'm almost to the halfway point on this spin. It's a little over an ounce. I'm not sure exactly how much, but I have this much plus this to spin. So maybe like 3 hours of spinning left, and then I will have finished the first half of the singles. And then the other, I have a whole nother bat that's going to get put on the second Russian. So you know, that's something that I was going to work on this weekend, and then I got into the whole crochet block of the month cowl, which I started late. I started in February. So there's a 12-inch main square, and then there's a 12-inch filler, and then there's the 6-inch filler, which I already showed you. So I did the 12-inch filler, which, because I'm using fingering weight, it's actually more like 7 inches. And it's blocking. I've got it all hooked up on this white cloth with my blocking wires and everything, and I thought that doing this would ruin it less than unblocking it, but now I'm not so sure. But anyway, that's the filler, the 12-inch filler. And then there's one more square for the month of February, and it has like a heart motif in it. And then I figure if I can, I'll go back and do the 3 squares that I missed for January and do those. And then in March, I also have to do the 3 squares in March. So somewhere between now and the end of March, I have 6 squares to do for that. So that's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm already learning a lot of new stitches that I've never done before, and just like when you knit, you know, if you've been knitting for any amount of time, you know how to fix mistakes if you make them. And then like if you're learning something new and you're knitting, you know sort of the logic behind how patterns are written, and you can figure out how the designer wants you to do something, even if you've never done it before. And that's one of the things that I'm learning how to do with the crochet, because a lot of times they'll give you a bunch of stitches that they tell you what they mean, but there's always that one thing that they just assume is obvious and that you know how to do. Like for the filler square, they had a video tutorial for almost every single row, and the row that they didn't have a video tutorial for, it was row 7, and it was like a SK2 triple crochet. And I'm like, okay, SK means skip, and triple crochet means triple crochet, and 2 means 2. So are you skipping 2 triple crochets, or are you skipping 1 stitch and then triple crocheting twice? I was so freaking confused. I was like, I don't know what this means. If it was a skip and then 2, there should be a space in my head. Like, I was just like, the one row that there wasn't a video freaking tutorial for. That's all I'm saying. I spent like an hour just trying to figure out what that meant. I was like, did each possible version. Like, I did one way, ended up with the wrong number of stitches, had to rip out. I was like, what? So that's all that, a lot of fun. I'm still working on my husband's sweater. It's downstairs. The other thing is I've been doing more stuff with Amanda's drum carder, and I blended another set of bats that I'm going to give away. This is going to be my last giveaway for a bit. I need to clear out a space in my garage so I can dye up some more fiber, because this is pretty much the last of the fiber I've dyed up. But I have a green bat set for St. Patrick's Day, which is March 17th. So I'll put up a thread on the Ravelry group, the Knitwhim Diareis group on Ravelry. You go and join and whatever, post in the thread, and I'll randomly draw one winner for the 2 bats, and here they are. So this is one bat, and I'm not going to unfold both of them, but they're basically the same. Woo! All this greenness. So it's like 21 count, micron count, merino, like the last stuff, and then it's got some fire star and some bamboo blended in it. And see, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see the fire star. The fire star is a lot more subtle than the Angelina. It's just a little bit of glam. So each bat is 1.6 ounces. So it comes out to be just over 3 ounces total. So ship that out. I feel really bad the last one I sent out, I kind of got shoved into that manila shipping envelope type thing with the bubble wrap in it. I need to find a better shipping container method. Now, I did make some rolags. I've been trying to learn how to do rolags. So my first couple, like, the trick with the rolags really is like a twitchy way, the way that you roll it, because these all came from the same carded bat. Like, I just carded a small amount on the drum carder and I pulled it off the same way you would with a bat, but then instead of making it a bat, I just rolled it up as rolags. And these are like super wispy and like not attractive looking, and it's just all about how tight you roll it, how much you try to roll. I finally got the hang of it and got some pretty ones that actually look the way you've probably seen. These are what the nice rolags look like. I mean, I'm sure I'll probably be able to spin the other ones, they just aren't very photogenic. Ultimately, it's all fiber, it all becomes yarn at some point. But, yeah, pretty rolags. So yummy. But yeah, it's just really time intensive, and it's definitely more skill based than you would expect for a fiber prepping technique. You really, like, you have to know what you're doing, otherwise it doesn't look quite nice. Oh my goodness. So I think that's it for projects that I'm currently doing and currently working on. My sweater's downstairs, I haven't touched it in a while. Yeah, that's it. I'm in my craft room right now, and in addition to all of my crafty stuff that I talk about on the video blog, I do have 2 things that I'm trying to squeeze into my life right now. I have the violin, which I haven't really gotten a chance to practice between me mostly being awake at night and my husband sleeping then when I can't practice. And like now, it's daylight, I could practice, but I'm kind of afraid to practice. And I have a cold, and I've got a headache, and like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm not really sure if I can handle being that bad at something right now. But I want, like, it's on my list of, like, someday when I'm in a good, not perfectionist mood, I'll practice the violin. And then I have my sewing machine in here, and I really want to start actually sewing. I've flashed these things on the podcast a couple of times. I've got all this 4th of July type fabric, and I want to make a pillow for my husband that's 4th of July themed, because he grew up with his grandparents, and his grandma was super into all that grandmother type decorating, where there'd be 4th of July themed pillows on the couches, and 4th of July cross stitch ornaments on the wall and on the doorknobs, and all that whole crazy grandma decorating. And so I want to do some 4th of July themed pillows to put on the couch during 4th of July. I think he'd get a kick out of it, and sort of ease some of that homesickness, since we do live on the opposite coast now from his family. So it's all stuff that I want to do, and it's just working on figuring out when to sleep and when to be awake and when to actually do stuff. And I do need to be awake at 8 p.m. So I should probably go to sleep now so I can have 2 hours, so I can have 8 hours of sleep. But I also kind of want to clean my kitchen because it's a wreck, and I also kind of want to do more sewing and crochet. So I might not get any sleep today. I might just stay up until 8. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's okay. Oh, one more thing. On the sewing note, I did get this book in the mail, Sew Everything Workshop, and I'll probably do an actual review when I actually use it, but it is what I plan on using to jumpstart my sewing. It's got paper patterns that come with it, but then it also has tutorials on how to make your own patterns. Just show this one thing. This is the thing I want to make the most out of this book. This night dress. It does not come with a paper pattern for that dress. It gives you instructions on how to draw, pardon me. It gives you instructions on how to draw your own pattern. And I bought this roll of medical grade paper in order to draw my pattern on, to make my own pattern. So I'm really excited about that, on the to-do list of things I'll do next year, maybe. I'm so hyper, it's not even funny. Yes. So, prize thread for the St. Patrick's Day giveaway. I'm gonna do something similar to the Valentine's Day one. Post a link to a project that you like that was knit up in green yarn. It could be something that you knit or crocheted, or it could be just a project that you favorited that was green or included green in it for St. Patrick's Day. And explain what you liked about that project thing. And until next, and I will close the drawings on the 9th of March, hopefully giving myself a week to put the bats in the mail so that you maybe potentially in a perfect world could be spinning green bats for St. Patrick's Day.